Good morning. It's a Saturday here. Thank you, Jesus, for another day. Let's get into this video. Today I have a bunch of things that I want to try to get done tomorrow too, which will be Sunday. First thing I did was I cleaned out all the vans, everything, took care of that. I want to get fuel for that van, so I need to put that on the list to do. I stained this corner board right here that is red oak that will match our panels for the job that Brandon installed on Thursday and Friday. Carl helped install as well. All the trim for that job is sitting right over there. So we still need to trim that job out and install the doors. His doors are over there that I need to cut down today. That's another thing. So I need to get this corner board clear coated once the stain is fully dry. And then that task can be completed. I want to try to this weekend sort all of these cabinets. I'm not sure if I'll get to that, but that's for another cabinet order. I want to try to do that. I have, they're over there, but there are, where I measured at yesterday on Friday, those face frames I brought back from where the water damage was. I want to try to figure all of that out, the math at least, so that way we can input it into the CNC. So I want to try to get that done this weekend maybe. And then the big time-consuming thing this weekend are these red oak doors that Jacob and I made yesterday. I want to get these all cut down, routed, puttied, sanded, bored, so they can be ready to go for Monday. We'll see if we get all of that done. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go clear coat that corner board, and then I'll start cutting all of these doors down. I have all my stuff set up here. Start cutting these red oak Shaker 45 doors and drawers down. That's the Shaker 45 profile. We go for 2.5 inch rails and stiles, so we're going to take about 1/8 of an inch off all the rails and stiles there, clean everything up, get them ready for palm sanding, double checking, and boring. I'm going to start with the drawer fronts first, and then typically what I do is I'll go to the lower doors, I'll do the smaller upper doors, and then I'll finish with the really tall upper doors. I don't know why I do that, that's just what I do. So I'm going to go turn on that dust collector way over here, and then I can start cutting, which will be amazing. It's so nice out today. It's crazy how nice it is. Jacob and I cleaned this out yesterday, so we're getting really good suction out of it, which is amazing. We have to clean that all about once a week at least, twice a week. That's a pretty big tank, but when the CNC fills it up really fast. With all these drawer fronts over here, there's a lot of them. I didn't set myself up well there, did I? So on these drawer fronts, as you can kind of tell here, maybe, on our drawer fronts above doors, we do 1.5 inches, 2.5. The top and bottom are 1.5 inches, so our center panel doesn't get scrunched and look terrible. But on the bigger drawer fronts, the ones that will line up with the top of a door next to it and then the bottom of the door, here I might be able to kind of show you. Essentially, this is a lower door, the drawer front above it, and then these will go something like this. It's going to be hard to get it perfect here, but that's essentially what will happen. The 2.5 we want to line up with the 2.5. The 2.5 we want to line up with the 2.5. And these look really funny with 1.5 inches on the top and bottom there on the style. So that's just how we do it on our bigger drawer fronts. But on the smaller ones, we do the 1.5 inches top and bottom, because in case a client gets a bulky handle, the bulky handle wouldn't fit in that little sliver. And I just think it looks terrible, quite honestly. We had to do that recently for a client because that's how their kitchen was before, and we were just making a few cabinets for their kitchen. And it looked fine. I mean, that's what they had, so that's all they knew, and it looked fine, but I just think this looks far superior. So I'm gonna get to cutting here. We'll kind of see, this is gonna take me for a minute for sure. So they're all 6.5, except for those two right here. Those two are the bigger ones. Just making sure. Okay, so these stack ones, 8, 7, and 7. Okay, so I need to set those aside. Good. Set these aside so I don't get confused here, because that would be bad. Cut the wrong thing. I've definitely done that before. I'm going to set this to 6 and 5/8 here. Maybe if I can lock it in here, something like that. Double check it with the tape measure, the Milwaukee. I think I'm crazy. I'm one of those people, I want every tool brand to match. So I only want to run Milwaukee, quite honestly. Pretty much like 95% of our stuff is Milwaukee. We do have some DeWalt. But I want everything to match. Whether like, if DeWalt makes a better product of this, I still want it to be Milwaukee, because Milwaukee is what we predominantly use. I don't want to be switching batteries and having to bring more chargers. It kills efficiency. Some people will definitely say I'm crazy for that, which I probably would agree. But that's just how my mind works. Line this up, make sure we have the perfect side up against the fence here. Take 1/8 of an inch off. The width is definitely harder because you just have to do a little bit of math. But it's not that much harder. There we go. All right, well, I'm gonna be cutting these down for a while, and once this is complete, I can go and start routering all of these doors way over there. One thing I want to kind of point out here is I cut my heights first, because as you can see, the end grain, even if you have a good finish blade and you're going slow, sometimes likes to blow out, especially on this red oak. So when I go for my width pass, I won't have to worry about it because it's running with the grain there, and it won't blow anything out, and it'll just make sure everything is perfect and clean. So that's just one thing I always have to think about, note when you're cutting these down. So I'm going to keep cutting. I have the height done for those. I'm going to move on to that stack, and then I'll start cutting all the widths. I just got done cutting all of these doors down. There's a few more over there that I need to bring over here. But in the meantime, Carl was helping me router a bunch of these doors, and it just gives a nice eased edge. There's nothing decorative or crazy about it. It just helps, especially on the paint. But this is what it looks like when it's not routered. This is what it looks like when it is routered. I think it gives a nice finished edge there, and it really helps for the paint, so there's no sharp corner that the paint can't adhere to as well. And then same thing for the stain and the clear coat. It's just, if you brush up onto it, it lessens the chance of some chipping or dinging or something bad happening. So that's why we router everything. I also think it does look better. Just slightly puttied it with the color match putty for the red oak. Most of that isn't needed, but we do that just in case, whether there's 1 or 2 doors that really need it. Palm sand that all off once I'm done routering. So I need to finish routering those doors, the doors over there, finish puttying these doors, and then I will double check the measurements, palm sand all of the doors, and then bore all of the doors with all of our Bloom compact hinges, soft close with our Bloom boring machine. So we'll see if we get to that today. Palm sanding takes a long time because there's a million of these red oak doors. There's not a million, there's 41, but it's a decent sized order for us. So I'm gonna start routering. I'm almost done routering all of these doors. I just have this pile left. And then I can start double checking all of the measurements and palm sanding all of these doors. I finally finished routering. Now I'm just going to double check the puttying, and then I can start double checking all of the measurements on all 41 of these red oak Shaker 45 doors. So I'm going to clean this up here a minute, get organized, go grab the master sheet. Has all of my measurements on it. and then begin that process. Everything is much easier with two people. Missing Carl's on an appointment, which is awesome. Missing Jacob and Brandon today, but that's okay. It's a Saturday. We're gonna get this done here. So I'm gonna grab the sheet, start measuring all these doors. Sanding down these red oak doors with 150 grit sandpaper. You don't want to use too fine of a grit of sandpaper, otherwise it closes the pores of the material up and it won't take the stain as well. So that's why we use 150 grit here. And we're just going to clean these doors up, make sure they look perfect. Once I have each door fully sanded, I'll come over here to my notes and I'll just measure and mark off as I go. That way I can get them organized once and then they'll be ready for boring. So I need to keep sanding here. All 41 doors, definitely going to take some time. Make sure everything is perfect. That way we send them to our other facility. They can get stained and clear coated. We don't have an issue. I'll double check my measurements and then I can start boring these doors. I just finished sanding all of these red oak doors. I'm going to head out here. Tomorrow I'll be in here and I will bore all these doors and probably drill handles for that cabinet right here. See you tomorrow on Sunday. Adios. Good morning. Back here on a Sunday to bore all these doors. Thank you, Jesus, for another day. Let's start boring these doors. I have a few of our custom red oak Shaker 45 doors bored, but I have all of my hinges pulled from our pile of stock right over there. They're all the compact Bloom hinges, soft close. Again, they're compacts. They don't eat up your rough opening in your cabinets, which is amazing. They're super sturdy, durable. I have our machine set to the proper alignment that it needs for these hinges. And then all I'm doing is reading my sheet here. If there is no notation down here from where I wrote, then that just means they're normal 3.5 inch bores from the top and the bottom. All I do, take my hinge, I'm gonna set it up here. Make sure the door is up against the fence in both directions. Clamp the foot. Press and hold. Pour the hole out. And then I'll switch my hinge down, which in turn hits a switch right here, which will shut off the bit, and it'll just use the air to press in the hinge. That's how that looks. And then what I'll do is when I get the other side bored, I'll come over here, unscrew the hinge, put the hinges in the hinge bag, screws in the screw bag, and then these doors can go get stained and clear coated at our facility, run through our oven. Then when we get on the job site, all we have to do is measure the door, find the corresponding size of hinge, 1 inch on the left door, 1 inch on the right door because there's 2 doors here, and then just put a puzzle together. It's as simple as that. We don't have to hammer these in on site on a customer's countertop, which I always hated. I know the customer never liked. We don't have to worry about cracking a seam because we're using a mallet. And just a faster process this way. We can do all of the work here at the shop. And then when we get on the job site, all we have to do is screw these in. So this works really well. And I like this a lot. So we're going to keep boring these doors. And then there's a bunch of stuff I could do up here. I may not do anything more, or may help Carl move. He has a bunch of stuff moved. This cabinet needs wiped down, looked through for touch-up, handles drilled on it. I need to do some math for a job that I measured for on Friday, and I could start organizing all of these cabinets. I'm not sure which of those options I'm going to do, or if I'm going to do any of them, but if I do something, I'll make sure I film it for you guys. Got all of those red oak doors bored. I'm going to help Carl continue to move a bunch of stuff because I think next week is our last week in this facility, and then we'll be fully in the other one. So Tomorrow's gonna be super busy. I need to finish drilling the handles for that tricorn black kitchen. I need to sort all of these other cabinets so we can start putting those together. Need to dado out these cabinets right here, drill those handles, organize and start putting these cabinets together, and then do math for a job that I measured on Friday. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, subscribe, comment, and then see you tomorrow, next week, tomorrow. Adios.